This is 19 Eyewitness News.
There have been no major changes in the status of African Americans. Apparently, if you don't raise hell in this city, everybody forgets you.
That is how one black community leader characterizes the treatment of minorities in Peoria.
Advocates say blacks and the poor are being overlooked and alienated by City Hall. Tongish joins us now from the newsroom with more on why these residents feel slighted.
Well, these feelings really came to surface after a recent shakeup at City Hall, when a predominantly white city council moved to unseat a mostly black PHA board. Now, black leaders say the council just doesn't care about minorities, but council members say that's not true. Black advocates say this city council is turning its back on minorities. They claim the attempt to remove all 3 black PHA board members sends a negative message about putting blacks in leadership roles.
Our boys and girls are not getting jobs. We are not being appointed and hired in leadership positions.
And some minorities already in leadership roles say they are overlooked. Councilman Jim Polk is the PHA liaison, but was not consulted on the move to oust the board.
With 3 housing authorities in my district and bypass me I think is a very negative thing.
Gil Nolde, chairman of the commission that advises the council on social issues, says the city is more concerned with potholes than people. He resigned this week. But some council members say the city is looking out for the underprivileged.
I think what the city council is doing is very, very conducive to the betterment of the poor people.
I just want what's better for all of the people who are residents of the Peoria Housing Authority.
Now, council members say they are doing what they can to address minority issues quickly and fairly, but some black leaders say some of these recent actions may polarize the community even further and make it more difficult to make any real changes.
Dawn, is the mayor saying whether or not he plans to appoint the same number of blacks to the PHA board?
Sheldon, he's really not saying yet. He says he does have a list of interested people, but he's not saying exactly who he will be appointing. Now, black leaders want at least the same amount of black representatives on the board. That would be 3. Now, we should mention that another PHA commissioner did resign today. Jack Hackler turned in his resignation. So A.J. Guyton is the only one who hasn't resigned.
Okay. Dawn Tongish from our newsroom tonight.
Thank you, Dawn. Black residents are upset because they don't have a louder voice in the community, but there is a move underway tonight to change that. The Tri-County Urban League is starting a 9-month campaign to get more blacks to vote. The group's goal is to increase voter registration by 25%.
Door-to-door, telephone, mobilization if we have to. You know, we'll get out in the streets with volunteers, and we'll get in cars, and we'll get horns, and we just call people and get them out to vote, register to vote as much as possible.
James says right now only 40% of Peoria's 17,000 blacks are registered to vote. McLean County Judge Charles Whitty heard more testimony today on a possible death sentence for Glenn Wilson.
The 36-year-old Wilson was convicted earlier this week of murder and armed robbery at S&S Liquors in Bloomington 3.5 years ago. Rusty Dunn is covering the case and reports tonight from the Twin Cities Bureau. Rusty?
And it was a long day's worth of testimony at Glenn Wilson's death penalty hearing. Prosecution put up a number of witnesses to try and convince Judge Charles Whitty that Wilson be put to death for the S&S slayings. There was emotional testimony from the families of the 3 victims, all sharing memories of their loved ones, Scott Burton, Whitney Cole, and Robert Webb. In other testimony, an Illinois Department of Corrections employee read from a report that called Wilson a ticking time bomb 2 years before the S&S killings. The official referred to a thick stack of files on Wilson, all detailing an extensive history of violence and gang activity behind prison walls. Wilson's attorney was able to call just one witness late today, a McLean County jail worker who testifies that Wilson has caused no problems during his incarceration here. Wilson's mother may speak on his behalf tomorrow, and attorney Pat Riley says Glenn Wilson's still apparently undecided as to whether he will take the stand to try and convince the judge he deserves to live. That hearing resumes tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Okay. Rusty Dunn from Bloomington Normal tonight.
Thank you, Rusty. Pre-trial publicity in the murder trial of Jeffrey Risley is sparking some concern for the defense. Risley's lawyers are worried that a 29-year-old Michigan man arrested for killing 6-year-old Kayla Lansing will not get a fair trial in Bureau County. Yesterday, they filed petitions to move that trial to Iowa. The prosecution says the defense has already postponed the trial twice, and a third delay is unjustified. George Hupp plans to schedule a hearing on the motion sometime later.
A Peoria police officer is being honored for his service tonight. Gary Siebenthal is Peoria's 1991 Police Officer of the Year. He has served on the force for the past 15 years. He has worked in vice and drugs and also on patrol. He's now assigned to the crime scene unit.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime award for a police officer. It's the most prestigious award that you can get of being a Peoria police officer.
Siebenthal has also won the Distinguished Service Award and the American Legion Meritorious Service Award. Still to come on Eyewitness News tonight, college costs are going up again quite a bit in some schools.
And being a big hit with your kids by not playing too hard. We'll explain in our Family Matters.
I'd never really thought about living in a mobile home until I came out here to an open house at Oak Lawn Mobile Estate, and I really love it out here now. I don't even have to worry about much maintenance. There's no place I'd rather be.
My father was in the garage business, and his father was in the garage business. Well, my father was my mechanic all my life. I've got some old Craftsman tools that are still around, which I love and I treasure. My grandfather and also my father's tools, which nobody could ever buy.
1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever.
He really believed in Craftsman, same as I do.
Only at Sears.
When adversity strikes, you can't see clearly, and it's easy to lose your sense of direction. If injury strikes, you have to make tough choices, and you need the facts. Before you sign anything, call for a pre-assessment. Ghantous Law Offices. Get the facts.
Parents certainly want their kids to be the best they can be.
They certainly do, but it is important to make sure that desire doesn't alienate your children. In the final part of her series, A Parent Survival Kit, Tracy Peterson shows us how to foster your child's potential without becoming overbearing.
Well, it seems some sporting events can bring out the worst behavior in some parents. One good example is out at the baseball diamond. We've all heard the screaming parent yelling at their kid for striking out at the plate. While some parents may think they're helping their child, psychologists say the parents may actually be stifling the child's potential.
Who wants to hit the ball? I can't hear you.
Many parents like to introduce their children to different sports and hobbies. Casey Smith is the father of 3 boys. With a name like Casey, it's not hard to figure out what sport is dear to his heart.
Hey, boy, Mark!
Casey says he tries not to be too rough on his boys, but he admits sometimes he forgets the name of the game is fun.
Sometimes I'm guilty of not making it fun put too much pressure on them.
Psychologists say when children don't live up to parents' expectations, many parents try to overcorrect children, continually telling the child what he's doing wrong, and that can severely hinder a child's growth.
And what it really does is give them a poor self-esteem, and I've heard many children say to me, I just don't even try anymore because whatever I do, it's never as good as Mom or Dad would like it to be.
Go, boy! Good hit!
Psychologists say the most important thing to remember is to treat your kids as individuals.
You have to recognize that each child has his or her own abilities, his or her own interests, and to a certain extent, his or her own rate of development. Some children are simply slower in their development, and yet it's perfectly within what we would consider normal.
Amos Schulte says, let your child try many different things until they find something they like and they're good at doing. Then make sure to praise them for their ability. Now, also, you have to remember that you're making lasting memories for your children, and you want those memories to be good ones and ones that they're going to enjoy.
Right. Positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement.
Okay.
That's the key.
Thank you, Tracy. Students attending state schools are likely to see tuition increases next year. University of Illinois, Southern Illinois, and Western Illinois universities announced their increases today. Southern is raising its tuition by as much as 37%. Officials at those schools blame cuts in the state funding for their increases. Illinois Senate Democrats say they have a budget-cutting plan that could save some cuts found in the plan Governor Edgar wants to implement. The group outlined a plan today which trims $170 million from the state bureaucracy. The Democrats want to slash government spending for things like electronic pagers and car telephones. They would give some money back to programs like senior citizens and job creation. Those items are targeted for cuts by the Republican governor. Governor Edgar says the idea is good in theory, but that it would take it would save very little money.
A pair of Russian journalists are in Central Illinois tonight to talk about the dramatic changes happening in their country. They were guests of Illinois Wesleyan University earlier today, asking and answering questions from curious students and faculty. This Russian journalism student says news gathering in the former Soviet Union is in the state of transition.
It's more easy, and at the same time it's more difficult to be a journalist right now because we don't have a control from the Communist Party as we used to have before.
The old Soviet government used to fund its news organizations. Penkoff says news operations now have to pay their own costs of covering the news in their country. Finding heart-smart foods at Peoria restaurants can be a difficult task, but St. Francis Medical Center has teamed up with several area eateries to make it a little easier. Patrons will now know what foods are healthy when they see this little heart on the menu. Those foods have been picked out by a hospital dietitian who visited several of the kitchens to see what they had to offer.
We first took a look at their menus and tried to find items that I thought would be heart-healthy items. And then once I selected those items, I asked them if they would give me the recipes. Once I got the recipes, then I did a nutrient analysis by using a computer and found out exactly what the breakdown was of fat, cholesterol, and sodium.
The heart-healthy foods will be under 800 calories and only have 18 grams of fat. The rain, luckily, has moved out of the area.
I was getting ready to go eat.
Oh, boy.
That looked
good, didn't it?
Sure did. Lee Ranson will tell us whether the sun is going to stick around for the rest of the week when we come back.
With our new Celebration Sampler, you get a dozen ways to celebrate. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Celebration Sampler comes with a chimichanga, taco, enchilada, plus 7-piece dessert plate. At $7.99, it's worth celebrating. Chi-Chi's celebration of food.
When it comes to decorating your home, you want to make smart decisions, like coming to True Value for their home decorating paint sale. It's a great event with quality True Test paints at terrific prices, some at their lowest prices of the year. Rich Ultra Satin Wall Paint, just $17.98 a gallon. Or gets True Test Weatherall. The flat finish is on sale for just $12.48 a gallon, the lowest price of the year. Stop by a True Value hardware store displaying the home decorating paint sale banner today.
It takes great brand names.
Whatever it takes.
This week at Sony.
Save on this 8mm Sony camcorder, including zoom lens and remote control, plus a free tripod, only $8.99.
Whatever it takes.
You've got our commitment.
Whatever it takes.
Every single day. No matter what it takes.
Whatever it takes. Montgomery Ward.
Tender barbecued ribs, mouth-watering hamburgers, Western-style chicken, shrimp cocktail, zesty tacos, and more. These are a few of the tasty dishes that'll tantalize your taste buds all year round. Cookies regular and Western-style barbecue sauce, and Cookies mild and hot taco sauce and dip.
Cookies barbecue sauce, it's a barbecue sauce. America loves to eat.
We at Cookies just want to say enjoy.
19 Eyewitness Weather brought to you by Chrysler Jeep Eagle.
It was quite a downpour this morning, wasn't it?
Sure was. Actually, some areas got a lot more than others. Usually the case whenever you get scattered showers like this, but most of us did get some rain, and we really needed it.
Yeah,
sure did.
long, steady rain.
It really, very, very dry, but now the rain's moved out of here. We've got some nice weather coming for the next couple of days. And a very nice picture to share with you here, too, for our spring flower photos. Some beautiful flowers that look like tulips. Yes, they are. Thank you very much, Irma, for sending those along to us. We appreciate that. And you will be in the running for our Eureka vacuum we're going to be giving away next Monday night from the folks down Sweeper out on War Memorial Drive in Peoria. Thank you very much for sending in your pictures. More of them coming at you here, too, so stick around for them. Most of the rain has moved out of the area, so now we have just sunshine with 61 degrees, a 51 dew point, 70% humidity. Winds out of the east at 9, barometers 30.03. It is steady. The river level is at 12.1, down a couple of tenths of a foot since yesterday. Temperatures across the heart of Illinois, warmer up in the northern quarter with Kewanee reporting 64. Still kind of chilly down in Lincoln with their 57. And across the state, you can see 66. Moline has some sunshine, whereas through the central part of the state, still a few scattered showers. And down in Carbondale, it is 68. 61 is our high so far for the day. 51 our low this morning. Normally 72 and 50, so we are 5 degrees below normal for the day. Officially just 0.18 of an inch of rain, but we have had reports of some folks that got up to about a half an inch. I hope you had that much at your house if you needed it. 93 the record high for today, 34 the record low, and the sun sets tonight at 8:07. You can see on the satellite this big, huge area of clouds that is now starting to move on to the northeast. Lots of clear skies behind it. Every once in a while you'll get some little patchy, high, thin clouds, but as you can see also on the radar, most of the precipitation is to the south of us now. There's still some areas that have a little few sprinkles left in some of the clouds, but most of it has moved on. Very heavy thunderstorm activity going on down in east central Texas, where they have tornado watches and warnings down there. Tennis ball-sized hail in Medicine Mound, Texas today. I don't think I want to have been there. You can see we have a low-pressure center moving to the south of us here. Showers are all scattered south, and it looks like we're going to start clearing off for the next day anyway, and also going to start to warm up a little bit. A little warm front's going to be moving over us during the day tomorrow. We should get up into the upper 70s with sunshine tomorrow, and on Saturday we're going to be in the low 80s, it looks like. As Saturday night, maybe a few thunderstorms will move in. Cooler air moves in for Sunday, but for Friday and Saturday, nice and warm and sunny. Lows tonight will drop into the 50s for us. Tomorrow's high temperatures, 80s across the southern part of the state. We're going to get up into the upper 70s ourselves, but very comfortable temperatures, as you see, everywhere except 90s through the stretch of the south central plain states, and some pretty nice temperatures in the Midwest for you, too. Back with our forecast in just a minute.
It's been a coast-to-coast saving success, but these are its final days. It's the National Jeep Sale at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Your last chance to save over $2,900 on Jeep Cherokee. Plus, save up to $900 on the freedom-loving Jeep Wrangler. There are only a few more days to save, so see your dealer soon. Because while our vehicles know no limits, our sales do.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
Aren't you tired of all the reaching you have to do for your old windows? Reaching out the old-fashioned way to try and clean your windows and hating every dangerous minute of it? Reaching off dangerous ladders to scrape, caulk, and paint your windows? Reaching constantly for your thermostat winter and summer and still not feeling comfortable? And reaching deeper into your pockets to pay bigger and bigger fuel bills? Instead of reaching for all of these, do yourself a favor and reach for your phone.
Hi, folks. I'm Joe. Call Midstate Siding and Window Company at 699-9600 for a free in-home estimate.
Very nice forecast. After the showers and clouds move out, it'll be partly cloudy over all of the area with our low around 50. Winds out of the east, then partly sunny, 52. Could be some light fog in the morning. Sunny and warmer during the afternoon with a high about 78 and a southerly breeze. Fair skies tomorrow night, low around 55. And then for Saturday, partly sunny, warmer yet, a high about 83. We do have a chance for some showers moving in here probably late Saturday night and on Sunday. You see it's a cool down on Sunday with a high of only 70, but then sunshine back on Monday and Tuesday and a warming trend back into the mid-80s by next Tuesday and Wednesday. So it was a pleasure to have that little bit of a rain shower. Hope you got some there to help out your flowers and grass and crops or whatever. You
Great.
bet.
Looks good.
Good rain tonight.
Thanks, Lee. Sports coming up and a preview of the big Bulls-Knicks matchup tonight.
Also tonight, we'll take a look at the Bloomington State champion doubles team. Stay tuned for the sports when we come back.
Hey, when we say inside it must be right, that means I work right here in front of you customers. And that's okay. I perform better when I have an audience.
No matter how you stack them,
Our steak burgers always end up the same.
These are our tiny little thin, gold, crispy, miniature, diminutive, special, very tasty, and usually small French fries. Ask for them by name.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
Why are so many people saying yes to Toyota? Here we go. Because Toyota quality is such a great value. Like Toyota trucks rated best resale value in its class. A real value to maintain, just 12 cents a day. Your Toyota dealers are out to get thousands to say yes to Toyota. With a huge selection, big dealer discounts, option package savings, and the year's best deals. Don't miss your chance to save.
More truck for the money. That's why I said yes.
Can we make a new Toyota truck a great deal for you?
Yes, we can.
Like I was saying, I just bought a new air conditioner. Got a great deal. They say my energy bills could really drop.
A Lennox must be a Lennox.
For quality products, professional installations, and reliable service, call Fritch Heating and Cooling today.
Thank you for trusting Fritch Heating and Cooling for 3 generations.
Fritch Heating and Cooling, the name you can count on.
If you've had your fill of foxtails and other grassy weeds, knock them out of your soybeans with one rate, one trip. The new Fusion Herbicide Grass Pack. If adding a broadleaf product to your old post-grass herbicide reduces the effectiveness of your tank mix, get full-size tank mix performance with the new Fusion Herbicide Grass Pack.
Well, can they do it in the Garden tonight?
Well, I'm certain they don't want to play a Game 7, so hopefully they can do it tonight because you never know what can happen in a Game 7. But tonight it's round 6 of the heavyweight battle between the world champions Chicago Bulls and the pesky underdogs, the New York Knicks. The Bulls looking for the knockout tonight at Madison Square Garden. Of course, Chicago leads the series 3-2. And today at shoot-around, they were talking about wrapping things up tonight in Game 6.
Yeah, we don't want to take this team to a Game 7, and it's a do-or-die situation for both teams. We feel like we played very well here in the Garden, so we're going to come out tonight and try to, have one of our better performances.
We have to go inside. If they're going to foul us, then we go to the free throws and go to the free throw line and knock the free throws in. Get some of the guys in the foul trouble so they become hesitant that they don't want to foul and that they're afraid to foul. They want to stay out there and play. So.
Well, of all the highlights of Game 6, the Bulls and Knicks for you tonight on Nightcast, while the Chicago Bulls go after their second straight NBA title. The Chicago Blackhawks are after their first Stanley Cup title since 1961. The Hawks in the NHL Final Four. Now they begin the Campbell Conference Championship Series versus Edmonton Saturday night. Since sweeping Detroit last week, it's been all practice for the Blackhawks. The Hawks hope goalie Ed Belfour has been sharp because they know Edmonton goalie Bill Ranford will definitely be ready.
The goaltenders are very capable of shutting the door, and for that reason, it can become a goaltender series.
Once again, Game 1, Chicago hosting Edmonton is Saturday at Chicago Stadium. The University of Illinois officially has a new athletic director. Today, Ron Gunther approved by the U of I Board of Trustees to become Illinois' 8th athletic director in history. Gunther replaces the departed John Makovic. Ron Gunther is 46 years old, a 1967 graduate of the University of Illinois, a former Illini football player. And he said today he plans on staying at Illinois until he retires in about 15 years. In high school tennis, the Bloomington Purple Raiders, the top-ranked team in the state. So again, this year, playing Bloomington in tennis is trouble. In fact, it's double trouble.
Bloomington High tennis coach Barry Nixon has opponents seeing double again this year. The Purple Raiders are ranked number 1 in the state in tennis. And one or maybe 2 reasons why, Bloomington's always tough doubles team.
We probably stress doubles a lot, and traditionally, I think our drills are basically doubles drills in our practices.
I just think a lot of people in Bloomington grew up with little kids playing a lot of doubles and just like it, so they practice and improve. It's harder to get points in singles because there are a lot of good singles players, and if you got 2 people who can play doubles together good, that's not as common. Bloomington High has always emphasized their doubles teams, and this year they're trying to double their pleasure. Brian Edmonds and Dennis Alexander are going after their second straight doubles state championship.
The important thing is that makes me and Dennis, who we are, is that we help each other out when one's down.
You know, we help motivate each other, keep each other up. When he makes a bad shot, I'll come back and try and hit the best shot I can.